guys, Wes York here for the next episode of York Talk, everything sales and business. I want to say thanks for everyone, the viewers, the listeners. You know, it's really funny when we do these York Talk episodes on Facebook Live, which you're watching right now. You know, we then take it to YouTube, we put them on podcasts, we upload them into iTunes. So we sort of come everywhere. So it doesn't matter if you can't view it now, you get to replay it or you get to listen to it in your car. So, you know, why I explain this is because it doesn't matter what business you're in. You need to get that attention, you need to get that exposure. And so I want to give you some of the tips and the strategies that we use here at Sales Coaching International to really grow your organization or grow your business. And it doesn't matter whether you're in a business and you're a sole operator, or you're in a business and you've got hundreds and hundreds of staff. Everyone's still looking to expand their business and grow their business and get new ideas. So I want to say thank you so far for every single person who has listened, who has emailed, who has commented. I'd like to thank the support staff, Jan, Vesna, Karen, and a whole lot of other people who make each day possible. Every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Daylight savings is now finished, so we're all in the same time zone in Australia for Melbourne and Sydney. Perth on the other side is a whole new state anyway. So today we are talking about roadblocks. We're talking about today roadblocks that stop people from being successful. You know, it doesn't matter if you're in an MLM or you are a sales agent, you want to open up your own business, or you're starting your own business. You know, we come across these roadblocks all the time, which really hinder our success. We hinder our growth. And a lot of times when we hit these roadblocks, people go either way. They stop and they retract and everything becomes too difficult. And then, in a year's time or 6 months' time, they wish they'd kept going. Well, the other people, they keep pushing through those roadblocks. And you know what? Everyone thinks they're the lucky ones. They think they're the overnight success. And we all know there's no such thing as an overnight success. So we want to talk about some of these roadblocks today. So therefore, you can get through it. You can get that success and you can start to get those little wins. Because here's the thing. It doesn't matter what career you're in. It doesn't matter what business you're in. It doesn't matter whether you work for someone, your own operator, or whether you're looking for a career. Every single person has roadblocks. No one got there easy. And guess what? This is the normal path and the normal situation that every single person has to go through to get to their destiny. So first of all, today, we're talking about these roadblocks. So the first roadblock that everyone or a lot of people get to is they kind of feel that their product or their service needs to be perfect. How many times have you heard the comment, I'm going to start next week when my website's ready. I'm going to start next week, when I get my business cards. Or you know what? We can't start selling our service or our product because we need to wait for the R&D team to come back to us. There's always a reason why someone can't start today. Here's the thing. Some of the best products in the world weren't actually created before they're sold. So we need to make sure that we stop procrastinating, because that's really all it is. We're giving ourselves excuses and reasons why we can't get out there today to go and start connecting with people, to start getting numbers, to start sending emails, to start getting pre-orders. You know what? They're just excuses. How many times have we sat there and said, you know what? Geez, I had that idea, and look at that business now being truly successful. They've got a great product, and guess what? They're actually making heaps of dough. But that was my idea. I had that idea 12 months ago, but you didn't act on it. How many times have you sat there and you designed a business, you designed a product, or you did some training and you procrastinated on that, and before you know it, you're back to your old ways, and that roadblock had hit and you'd retract it all the way. See, most people, most businesses, entrepreneurs, salespeople, they get to the point where they can go either left or right. Let's make sure we go straight through the middle. Let's make sure we smash through that roadblock. So therefore, we get to that success, because every single person who's the 1% in the world, they smash through those roadblocks. You don't need to have a perfect product. You don't have to actually have the product or service there. We can pre-order. We can sit there and say, this is our prototype. We can start to say to people, I'm going to give you a free session. So I'm going to start, my speaking circuit or whatever. I'm going to do it free because my product or service is coming in 6 months' time. We can start to get our database. We can start to get, our sales pipeline working. It doesn't need to be perfect. If you hear someone say, oh, look, I'll get going next week when I get my website up and running, they're just procrastinating. They're not even going to start next week. They won't even start the week after. They'll struggle to actually move in. So you know what? I'm going to harbour this point again. If you want to be truly successful, stop waiting, because all you're doing is procrastinating, making excuses for yourself, finding reasons why you need to do something else. You know what? But what you're also doing is allowing someone else to jump in that space before you do. So you're going to find that by the time you procrastinate, by the time you get moving and doing something, someone else has jumped into that space, and now you have another excuse of why you're not going to move forward. The best way is just to take that step, move forward, find the reasons what work, find the reasons what don't work, and you know, it's a process of evolution. You know, your product's not going to be perfect day one anyway. You know, in 12 months' time, your product or service is going to be different from what you originally thought. And that's through evolution. That's what your clients want. That's what your customers want. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're self-employed or you work for someone. Everything changes. Your sales process changes from day one to the time maybe 12 months in or 24 months in. So you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. You've just got to get started. You know, the old saying, say yes and find out the way. To me, that is a great, great quote. So make sure we take that philosophy today. So we're Tuesday today. So let's take the yes philosophy, and Wednesday, let's figure it out. You know, let's just find a way to make it happen. The second thing we want to talk about today, you know what? I hear this all the time. You know, competition is healthy. You know, you hear a lot of sales teams say that competition's healthy. You hear a lot of businesses say that competition is healthy. But you know, let me ask it the question a different way. If you watch sports and you watch your team, do you want your team to dominate, or do you want your team to go close in every single game? You know, you want your team to dominate. You know, let's look at, say, a Google, for example. Do they like competition? Absolutely not. You know, they want to dominate their field. So to me, why do then people turn around and say that competition is healthy? Competition is not healthy. We want to make sure we dominate a sector. We want to dominate our market. And this doesn't matter whether you, again, work for someone, whether you're in MLM or whether you're a sales agent for someone or you're a small business owner. It doesn't matter. We want to dominate our field. So the question is, why do we have this mentality that competition is healthy? You know, to me, that is then another excuse of why we're not outperforming, or why we're not pushing that extra mile, or why we haven't, you know, brought in a new product that is in the field that is going to dominate our competition and dominate our industry. You know, why is it that we're not going to spend that few extra hours, you know, really honing our skills if we're a sales agent, you know, so therefore next week we can smash the other competition. So you know what? Competition isn't healthy. You know, in Australia, if you're in America or if you're, say, in India or whatever watching this, you know, we've got Coles and Woolworths right now, who are the major supermarket chains. They don't want the competition. They want to be dominating their field. So why is your business any different? You know, you want to make sure that you dominate your industry, dominate your field. So the thing is, what we need to do is we need to stop waiting for that perfect product or service. We need to stop waiting for that perfect client to make our business. We need to come back and go, okay, I want to dominate my field. So how are we going to do that? You know, so we need to put some strategy around how you can start to dominate your industry, how you can be the top 1% in your field. And we want to put a strategy around it, what you need to educate yourself on. You know, what clients you need to see. You know, we need to put a strategy around it, so therefore we can dominate our field, our industry, our business, our sector, everything that we do. So that's the second point. The third point, which hold people back, the roadblocks. And I see this heaps in network marketing. I see this heaps in small businesses. And you know what? It's all about, look, I'm not in sales. And you know what? To me, it's quite confronting when I hear, you know, someone who's coming into network marketing, they turn and say, look, I'm really scared I'm not in sales. Or you got a business owner, you know, a coffee shop or a hairdresser, and they say, look, we're not in sales. Every single person is in sales. And let me explain this just a little bit further. When you look at P&Ls, or you look at your wage slip, you look at any, you know, accounting documentation when it comes to businesses and employment, your income and your revenue is always at the top and your expenses come second. So when you look at your business, or you look at, you know, your wage, it comes first. And how do you get there? You've got to sell yourself. If you're looking for employment, or you want a job promotion, you've got to go into these interviews and you have to sell yourself. If you're a small business operator, you've got to sell your brand, your reputation, your service, your product. You've got to sell the entire time. That's why we have websites. You know, that's why we make sure the person who answers the phone has scripts. You know, if you're a sales agent, obviously everything is about sales. But if you want to, you know, go and get the great clients, we've got to learn the fundamentals of selling. So every single person that is on the earth is selling something. They're selling an idea. Even if you're talking to your best mate, every time you have a chat, you're selling ideas, you're having fun. But every single person is in sales. So if you want to get through these roadblocks, then you need to understand the fundamentals of selling. And there's only a small population in the world that really understand the fundamentals of selling. It's the same as if you want to, a doctor. There's only so many people in the world that understand how to be a great surgeon or a great doctor. But if you're in business, and if you're in sales, and if you're in network marketing, or if you want to just be better in life, we can all learn the art of sales. It's just a process, and it's just time. It's just education, and then it's practice. So my comment and my experience says every business owner, every network marketing, every entrepreneur, if they want to be better, they want to get to that roadblock, understand how to negotiate, understand how to close contracts, understand how to network, understand how to create a client for life. And this is all part of the selling process. Every single person is in sales. And I really wish that at universities and in high schools, they actually taught the fundamentals of sales, because if we actually had that in our schooling system and within our university system, people would be able to graduate and go and get those jobs and those roles. How do you go and get a role when they turn around and say, you need 2 years of experience, yet you haven't even graduated from university? They're actually not looking for someone with 2 years of experience. They want you to go in there and say yourself, so therefore we've got the perfect candidate. But not many people know that, and they don't understand how to actually do that. So I think the schooling system should be learning this process. So therefore, every single person that graduates and moves out of there has the opportunity to go and do whatever they want. So understanding that every single person is in sales, it's just up to us to learn it. We have to understand the process, and we have to understand, the reasons why people act on certain things and some people don't. The last thing I want to talk about today, so we've covered, you don't have to have perfect products or services. We've just got to start. We understand that competition isn't healthy. So if you ever hear that, it's actually not healthy. Someone's just giving themselves an excuse. We hear the saying all the time, look, I'm not in sales, but unfortunately, every single person is in sales. And the last one I want to talk about today is you hear a lot of time when it comes to just everyone, look, I don't have enough time. Well, they talk about work-life balance. And I'm going to put it straight out there. Work-life balance to me is a crock of shit when people talk about it. And the reason why I say that is because every single person's different. If I want to go and work 150 hours a week, but then when I go and spend time with my family, I'll make sure it's dedicated time. We have a great heap of fun. I'm not sitting there watching TV and the kids are out in the garden playing, for example. That's my work-life balance. I'm happy with that. So someone who wants to work 40 hours, but they want to play the rest of the time, that may be their work-life balance. But you can't criticize someone else's work-life balance. So to me, it's a crock of shit. The thing is, if you want to start a business and you want to be great, I am going to say it this way. You need to work and you need to put the hours in. You can't complain and you can't sit there and say, I wish this happened, if you actually didn't put the hours in to make it happen. And to me, this is where the work-life balance really struggles. I'd rather work hard now until, say, I'm 50 or 60 years old and enjoy the pleasures of being able to have my own plane, to be able to travel to any destination in the world, to give my family and my kids their houses and their cars and set up and help them with businesses, teach them how to sell and teach them how to be entrepreneurial. Because to me, that means my work-life balance right now is setting up a legacy for the future. So work-life balance for every single person is very, very different. The thing is, if you don't work hard, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in sales and you're not hitting your targets, then you need to make sure you put the time in to understand your process, because something isn't right. If you're in a network marketer, there's only about 5% of network marketers who actually succeed. And that's because they're the ones who put the work in and they did it at the start, and they're going to be able to have the fruits of life down the track. So you need to make sure you put the hours and the time in. And sometimes your work-life balance that suits you is going to suffer. But guess what? If you put the time in, it's going to come to you tenfold somewhere down the track. So to me, when someone says, I don't have time, you've got to make the time. You may have a full-time career, but you want to set yourself up, a different industry. You want to go out on your own. The only time you've got is outside of maybe your 40 or 50 hour working week. So that means you may need to do another 50 hours outside of that. So you may not have time to go and socialise, but you've got time to be successful. You've got time to educate yourself. You've got time to do your websites. You may not even have the funds to go and externalise it. So you need to do it yourself. So when someone says they don't have time, everyone's got the time. Every single person has the time to do it. It's just, are you willing to sacrifice the other time to make it happen? Because that's the real question. It's about the sacrifice of the time that you're going to use. Is it the time that I'm going to spend with my friends socializing, or am I going to sacrifice that time for my business or my new venture or whatever it is? So it's up to you on the sacrifice. So it's not a matter of time. So when it comes to work-life balance, like I said, it's a crop. Every single person, you gotta appreciate everyone's own opinion. So I can't sit there and say this work-life balance is incorrect, because guess what? This is my work-life balance, and you've got to have a work-life balance which is different to mine. So you can't sit there and have that opinion. But what I do know, to be successful, you've got to put the time in. And that work-life balance may be right at the time. In 10 years' time, it may not. So this is today's York Talk Everything Sales and Business episode. You know, every single person has roadblocks, and guess what? You just got to push through it. You know, you can't make excuses. You can't be complacent. You can't just sit there and go, you know what? Oh, if I don't do this, if I do that, you can't get overwhelmed. You've just got to keep putting one step forward over the next. And guess what? At some stage, that road's going to get broken and you're going to go straight through the middle. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You've got to start. You want to dominate your competition. You know, through Sales Coaching International, our philosophy is educate, motivate, dominate, because we want to dominate our industry. We need to make sure that everyone understands that they're in sales, and that, guess what? Everyone has the time. You know, maybe you got to sleep less, whatever it is, but you know what? Never take time as an excuse. You just got to work the time to make it successful for you. So this is York Talk, everything sales and business. You know what? Jump on our website, salescoachinginternational.com or wesyorksales.com. We also have, if you're struggling with your selling process, or you're struggling with motivation or overcoming objections or whatever, go to the Elite Sales Club and say, Where's York Sales? And click on the Elite Sales Club tab. And we've got different programs, educational programs, which you can watch them from your iPhone, you can watch them from your tablet, your computer, you can watch them 24/7. And we've got courses to really structure and strategize your selling process so you can convert more sales. So jump onto the website, have a look, go through the different programs and see which one suits you. We've got 12 or so different programs there to suit whatever you need. So we've got everything from 101 selling through to advanced closing and overcoming objections. And we've got everything in between to phone selling and everything like that. So jump on the website, wesyorksales.com. Click on the Elite Sales Club tab. Make sure you send us, put some comments in, send me an email. You know, we're open to help every single person out, because this is why we do York Talk every single week at 1 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time, because we want to make sure you get the success that you desire. So my name is Wes York. I want to thank you again for today's session. We are York Talk. We're back here every Tuesday, and we can't wait to see. If you've got something that you really want us to cover, send me an email, and we'll look at it, and we'll be able to slot that in over the next month, so we can handle, the areas where you're challenged in. And I'll bring it up on the York Talk and say, this is from such and such. This is what we're doing today. So we want to really make sure you get the education and the knowledge that you need right now. So my name is Wes York. I want to say thank you again, and we'll see you next week at 1 o'clock.